we invited Ramon to come out to the school, and after his visit, these were the recommendations that he suggested for our school. And for the purpose of his presentation, we're only going to go through 3 of them, okay? So the first one that he suggested that we talked a lot about was rights and responsibilities. The second one was about personal and communal responsibility. And the third one was collecting data and to see how the students improved and the effectiveness of the program. Okay, we also this year developed a new student code of conduct, and we also invited Ramon to come out and to give us feedback on our student code of conduct, and that consists of our mission, and our mission was to maximise the learning opportunities for every child every day. And through that, we also discussed the rights and responsibilities, and we developed the rights and responsibilities based on the need of our children, and then we asked Ramon to look at that, and I don't think we changed it from our original one. Okay, so the students' rights and responsibilities were that all students have the right to maximise all learning opportunities, and that all students have the right to learn and play in a safe and secure environment. And that was really important for us because we knew that when Ramon came to us, I think it was in term 1, we knew that by the end of the year we were going to change our whole learning styles because we were moving to a whole new building. So we wanted to have something put into place that was going to be adaptable for where we were at the moment, but also was going to be adaptable for when we move into our new building. To that end, we said that students will respect the rights of others to learn. Students will come to school on time. Students will come to school prepared for the day. Students will follow instructions from staff. Students will respect the rights of others to play. And students will take responsibility and consequences for inappropriate behaviour. And that students will be responsible for their own behaviour. And these were some of the ways that the children demonstrate their understanding. So in the infant grades, the teachers discussed and did lots of role playing. We wanted to actually videotape some of the role plays, but by videotaping it was not authentic. It was too staged, and we didn't want that to be shown to you guys. We wanted to show you what we really do and not just like a stage performance. So these are some examples of the kids. So they went through it, they did some role playing, they discussed it, and then they illustrated what it meant to them. Individual class books that are accessible to all kids, they're in their reading corners, so kids can refer to that and teachers can refer back to the books that they made. We also looked at terms that were part of the roles and responsibilities, and so for instance cooperation, the kids came up with little mini mission statements that they all agreed upon, and that is constantly referred to, and all these are hanging around in the classrooms. The next thing that we looked at was personal responsibility and communal responsibility, and in all of our 4 learning spaces we have a huge poster like this, and why we had to have a common approach was we already did a lot of work on personal responsibility and communal responsibility at our old place, but we knew that we had to transfer what we had already taught the kids and what the kids were behaving like into this new forum where in one learning space you could have up to 60 children. So we needed to keep that consistent. I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to get you to listen to some of the children. Each child is from one particular learning space, and what we hoped to gain from this is that we wanted to see if we had a common language between staff and a common language or common approach that the children were using as they were moving through to the learning spaces. I just hope the volume's up. How do I know if the volume's up?
Fingers crossed.
It's not playing. Okay, well, basically, they were so cute, and it was quite interesting because the children that we would observe doing the right things didn't feel comfortable to speak in the camera. So we kind of had to choose people that felt comfortable speaking in front of the camera, however, not necessarily doing the right thing. But it was interesting because when they were put in front of the camera, they knew exactly what they needed to say. So it was quite interesting because, yeah, the ones that we really knew were doing the right thing just couldn't cope with the camera, and then these kids kind of were doing it, but just loved being in front of the camera. And as soon as the camera went there, they said exactly what we wanted to say. So it's a pity that you can't see and hear those. But they were the prep, in the prep learning space. These were the guys in the 1-2 learning space. These were the guys in the 3-4 learning space. And these are the guys in the 5-6 learning space. I'm going to pass you over to Deb now. She's going to talk about the behaviour management plan.
They were fantastic, and we did test them, and they were fantastic last night when we had a look.
And this morning when
And this morning. I'm going to talk to you about the behaviour management plans. Before Ray came, we did have a few processes in place. After Ray visited, we did change them slightly because we wanted to put into practice some of the things that Ray had spoken to our staff about. We do have behaviour management plans. They are across the board. They largely have been used by our 3 to 6 students, and they have made an impact on our students' behaviour. What we did was we put... Oh, I'll get Connie there, sorry. What we did was we... just the pro forma. What we did was we set up a pro forma, and if there was a child that was having some difficulty with their behaviour in the classroom, what we did was we got each teacher that was having a difficulty with a child to come and speak to a member of the leadership team. The teachers themselves had to go through a process. It wasn't something, we didn't put behaviour management plans in place automatically. It was a process of talking to the teacher about a few things. The first thing was, what have you observed? What are the things that you have seen this child doing? You know, are there any patterns in the behaviour? Is there something happening after recess, after lunchtime? Was there patterns on a Monday or a Friday? Was there something going on with students in the grade? What are the patterns that you were observing with this particular child? And there was an expectation, largely I took on that role, but there was an expectation that the teacher could talk to me about what they've observed. So what we wanted is for teachers to have some time just to have a look, to see how they play outside, what's the interaction was like inside, what was going on with the social groups, what was going on between the relationship between the student and the teacher. The next thing that we would talk to the teacher was about, what have you already tried? What are the strategies that you've tried in the classroom? Talk to me about what you've done, how they've worked, why they did work or why they didn't work, why they only worked for a short amount of time. So there's an expectation that we could list all of the strategies the teacher would have used with that child before the management plan was put into place. The next thing was that we focused on talk about 3 areas of concern. What are the 3 things that are really bothering you about behaviour of this child? Largely it was, there was a commonality about teachers being concerned about the disruptive nature of children, that they were disrupting the learning of others. Some things that teachers spoke about was that there was a concern about the physical aggravation that they were causing to others. It might have been that they were calling out at inappropriate times. The reason why we chose really only 3 areas of concern so that we could actually focus on changing the behaviour of the child.